Alex Jones Show, because there is a war on for your mind.
So we have the WikiLeaks, and it's hundreds of thousands of emails, thousands of them, everything from Comedy Central to CNN to CBS News, being directed by the White House. And now we have Mika Brzezinski coming out last Friday and saying, look, when we would criticize Hillary, she would put pressure on our bosses, and they'd basically threaten to fire us. So the pressure's there. We have multinational banks coming in, looting the country, getting rid of our sovereignty. All over the world, people are pulling out of the New World Order, from Russia to the UK to Iceland to Italy. Just said, we don't want to have the EU get rid of what rights we have left and put an EU army inside our country. The EU saying, oh, you want to pull out? We're going to send the military in. This is so crazy. And instead of backing off, it's all over the news. Oh, we had recounts. Oh, we gained hundreds of thousands of votes. Well, forget that. We've got electors that are saying that they're not going to go for Trump on the 19th. And now Bob Baer and others, super liberal from the CIA, involved in their nastiest stuff, in my view. I mean, he admits it, torture, you name it, assassinations, disinfo. This guy, the CIA, that's been ruling our country since 1947, running coups against our nation, is telling the American people, we got some secret data that the Ruskies run this. And Rex Tillerson, why, the head of ExxonMobil, why, he's a Ruski agent because he drilled in Russia. Yeah, and he drilled in hundreds of other countries, too. Is he a Mexican agent? Is he a Venezuelan agent? Is he a Portuguese agent? Is he a Japanese agent? Is he a Scottish agent? He's drilling a bunch off Scotland. This is the level of the globalists who have taken our country over. They're the outsiders. They're telling voters, you didn't vote for Trump. You're under Russian mind control. And I'm telling you, and I've run this up the flagpole to a lot of smart people. They're working for Obama. They'll do what Obama says. And if they're already saying he basically is a Russian agent, then in the continuity of government COG, that means they're looking at assassinating Donald Trump. I've studied this deeply. It means they'll go to any ends. They're on TV with high-level former CIA people saying we got to have a new election. This is an open attempt to overthrow our election in our country. They're the ones that need to be seriously investigated. And let me tell you something. You saw the Army-Navy game? And we're going to Roger Stone here until about 10 minutes, 15 minutes the next hour. And he's not doing a lot of interviews right now because he's busy writing his book that we know is going to be a bestseller. But I tell you, this fight isn't over, folks. I've been telling you that day one. We're 39 days out. But here's the clip of Baer. He goes on and on and on. We played the full clip earlier, but here's the shorter part saying we need to go ahead and have a new election. This is on CNN, and this is all over the newspapers today. Here it is.
The Russians, it looks like to me, did interfere in our elections. We'll never be able to decide whether they changed the outcome. But I tell you, having worked in the CIA, if we had been caught interfering in European elections or Asian elections or anywhere in the world, those countries would call for new elections, and any democracy would. And I don't see it any other way. I mean, the Electoral College before the 19th has got to know whether the Russians had an effect, whether they went to WikiLeaks, whether they hacked email, and whether they affected American opinion. And
they go on to repeat it 3 or 4 more times. The full clip's on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. But here's what I'm getting at. They're bringing in web censorship. That bill passed the Senate today to set up a new bureau run by the CIA and the State Department to shut people down. They're already censoring us on Reddit, Google Chrome. EU ordered us banned on Monday. By Wednesday, we were being blocked in the Eurozone. It's not even news. The story's up on Infowars.com. Look at DrudgeReport.com. Then we're going to Roger Stone. The Russians did it. Weapons of disinformation. So don't forget what was in the WikiLeaks. The Russians gave the material, which they didn't. It was U.S. intelligence, we now know, mainly. It's a lot of groups. So we've got to give it to Hillary. You know, I'm almost glad they're doing this because it's so arrogant, it's so naked, it's so crazy. I want to play one more short clip, then go to Roger Stone of StoneColdTruth.com, joining us from New York. We're taking a lot of time at Trump Tower lately, but loose lips sink ships, as they say. With Mika Brzezinski finally telling the truth. Here it is.
Listen,
all this other
when
stuff.
I was concerned the campaign was not understanding that perhaps there was an arrogance. They needed to sort of get up their high horse and understand that this isn't over. I'll just say it. NBC got a call from the campaign. Like I had done something that was journalistically inappropriate or something and needed to be pulled off the air. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
That's just...
It's crazy.
That's shooting the wrong messenger.
And they go on to admit Hillary, Joe says, lost the election because of Hillary, not fake news. They're the fake news. They're the WMD liars. They got caught last week saying Trump and his crowd booed John Glenn when they said, oh, John Glenn died. What a hero. They went, oh, that's now a boo. Or Fox got caught having a Christmas party at Trump Tower. Total lie. Or fake quotes they put out on the web. It's on Infowars.com right now. A new story about it. Fake quotes of Trump saying he hates his constituents. These people aren't going to turn loose. So joining us is Roger Stone. Roger, you know, you've been in the Nixon White House. You've been in a lot of White Houses. I mean, we know the CIA was heavily involved in killing Kennedy. They were probably involved with the whole thing with Reagan. This is a government within a government. To have them openly telling us about legitimate government when their job is overthrowing elected governments, this is very creepy. And I'm telling you, they're getting ready to move against Trump. Thank God he's put in the Trump effect and the Trump way and is already the commander-in-chief, according to many, and already turning things around. If they kill him, he's going to be a martyr. But I don't think we're being incendiary or fear-mongering here. I mean, this is real.
Yeah, this is the last desperate grasp at power by the establishment who see them losing control. And this entire narrative of the Russians hacking the elections, we still have no proof. Yesterday, the New York Times says with bated breath that that's the case. And Congressman McCall from Texas first reiterates the Times claim. When I checked with his spokesman, he's acting on the basis of a briefing from the CIA. He's seen no proof. No member of the Senate or House intelligence committees on the Republican side. So this is a harangue. Now, the CIA has a decades-long history of lying about everything, whether it is Benghazi or whether it's the Kennedy assassination. So why would we believe them? They are merely taking the Clinton campaign talking points and recycling them yet again as the last pretext to deny Donald Trump the office of president. I don't think this is going to work. I think the effort in the Electoral College, while he may drop a few votes, he will still resoundingly be seated. And this nonsense will be over on January 20th. And then he can launch a real investigation into our intelligence community and see why they're lying about this.
I was about to say, he's played nice and said, let's all be friends. And then they've stabbed him in the back at every front, contesting the election, going after him, lying about him. They've only dug in. So it's not vindictiveness, as I mean, it's on an off-the-record talk. I told him weeks ago, I said, you've got to go after the criminals, sir. They're never going to back off. If they claim there's a deal, they're going to stab you in the back the next day. And look what they're doing.
Well, and as he said today, the claim that the Russians controlled or hacked or affected the election is, I'll use his word, ridiculous. Yesterday, he pointed out that they have lied about weapons of mass destruction. Why would we believe the CIA? Why would we believe the political appointees of Barack Obama?
I was about to say, these are the political leftist known minions of that whole wing of the CIA, and they're admittedly the biggest liars on the earth and serve Obama and Hillary still.
Well, and frankly, the president-elect is focused on forming a government. I think he regards this as so much background noise, put out a very good statement on it yesterday, went out to the press today. In the meantime, Alex, I think I can report with some confidence that the candidacy of Mitt Romney for Secretary of State is dead. And I fully expect the president-elect to appoint Rex Tillerson as the next Secretary of State.
And by the way, we're going to come back and really break all this down. But Roger, I love how you say you can report this now. I mean, I guess we can't say when you knew you could really report this.
Well, I really can't without betraying confidences, but I've now had enough conversations with people in a position to know that indicate that that is where the president is headed.
And it's safe to say Romney was being played with like a cat and a mouse.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, torture.
Stay there. I want to come back and talk about this.
Now we are introducing a new t-shirt, which I think folks need to get, telling the real truth about Bill Clinton, who is a serial rapist and a user of women.
In another case, it's about groping and fondling and touching against a woman's will. And rape. And rape.
Bill rapes them physically, and then Hillary rapes them psychologically.
He's a rapist.
Absolutely.
He's a public figure. He can go straight to hell.
Get your Bill Clinton rape shirt today at InfoWarsStore.com or call 1-800-253-3139.